Good afternoon or good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bionic Labs webinar dedicated to the launch of our new product, Adam Sand Small. So first, let's wait a couple of minutes for the other participants to join the event and see you soon with our guests. So welcome again. This is the webinar dedicated to the official launch of our new products, Adam Sand Small. And I'm Cristina Longo, Marketing and Communication Manager at Bionic Labs. I'm more than happy today to be the moderator of the presentation as we unveil the latest innovation in prosthetic technology, so the Adam Sand Small. But I don't want to spoil anything, so before going into the specific features and capability of Adam Sand Small, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you the exceptional speakers joining us today. So first, we have Giovanni Zappatore, CEO and founder of Bionic Labs. He will provide us with a detailed overview of the new features of the Adam Sand Small. So, ciao, Giovanni.
Ciao, ciao. Hello, everyone.
And together with Giovanni, even if there is no need for any presentation for him, from the United States, we have Jerry Stark, an expert in prosthetics and a key contributor to the clinical and technical efforts of the Bionic Labs US team. So, ciao, Jerry.
Ciao. Hey, everyone. I'm speaking to you from the headquarters of North America for Bionic Labs.
Great, so happy. So together, Giovanni and Jerry will guide us through the improvements we have made to our current Adam Sand medium-sized model to create a new Adam Sand Small and show how this innovation pushes boundaries, making prosthetics smarter, more adaptable, and more inclusive than ever before. So as the title of the webinar, so smaller, faster, even more durable, this event wants to highlight not just a new product, but a new step forwards in making advanced prosthetic technology accessible to an even wider audience. But without further ado, let us begin this exciting session, and we'll have 10 minutes for the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So please write your questions directly in the comments, and Giovanni, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cristina. Thank you very much. So before speaking about the Adam Sand, I want to quickly introduce you the main asset of Bionic Labs, which is our team. 40 people now really highly committed and competent. Starting from July, we also have a 4-people team in US now. Jerry is part of that for sure. And we are really, really motivated to improve the outcome of the application of prosthetic technology, particularly upper limb prosthetics, for people all around the world. So I'm happy, really happy to be here today and to speak with Jerry and Christina to explain you what we are going to do with the small hand and why it really represents something unique. So, quick intro about our headquarters in Italy, Soleto, but also in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where our clinical director, Jerry, is. As you can see, I mean, we have 2 hertz, basically. The European one, the original one, but now with US, I mean, things are going pretty fast, as Jerry can confirm. Yes. And we are trying to take in the best of both worlds to make this company really a great success. So, as some of you may already know, the product range of Bionic Labs is composed by Adamson medium model, which is already on the market since 2023 now, so 1.5 years ago. Then we have our Thundercell battery, so supply system, the wave electrodes, our EMG electrodes, the Mayo unit, which is useful to read the user EMG signal for the application, before the application of the prosthetic fitting. The demo unit, the torch to operate the end, and then 2 apps, Myologic Pro for clinicians and Myologic for user. But starting from today, we have a new addition to this family, Adamson Small. Great. So let's start by briefly recapping what's the main feature of the Adamson. So our mechanism, based on 1 motor to control all the 4 main fingers, is based on an adaptive feature, meaning that it can adapt to grasped object shape and size, and thus it doesn't require the user to co-contract double or use double, triple impulses to control the end. So it's really, really easy to use. And as you can see, it really adapts to each single activity of daily life that you want to carry on. So this also includes a high resistance to external stresses, because as you can see, having this really compliant mechanism allows us to really support high stresses on the end.
It's such a great mechanism, Giovanni, because it has a rotary transmission and a linear transmission. So when you see that grasping the pistol grip of the drill, it transfers all that load to the finger. And so it's really a all-wheel terrain, all-wheel drive type control of the hand. It's excellent.
Yes, exactly. And that, together with the mechanical intelligence based on this whole four-wheel drive mechanism, as Jerry calls it, we also have a pattern recognition system included into the end. So what you're seeing here, it's a calibration procedure that takes only 15 seconds. So the user requests at first to rest, then to hold close, and finally to hold open. After this quick procedure, they don't have to do basically anything else to set up the end. They can just open and close, and the end will adapt to the shape of the grasped object. So it's really immediate. You don't have to set any delay, threshold, nothing. Just open, close, and you control everything. I think that, Jerry, you had already several experience with calibration. And sometimes I've seen some crazy calibration actually working, especially.
Yeah, I think that what's interesting is that prosthetists feel like they know best how to adjust it, but the calibration actually checks that. So it's really great how it actually evaluates the probabilistic motion for hand closed, hand open. And I think people that utilize it are very impressed with how quickly it adapts.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. So, of course, having a hand which is easy to use allows users to focus on what matters most. So just doing what they need to do instead of trying to, understand how to switch grip, how to co-contract, double, triple impulse, select that grip or the other one with a button. They can really focus on what matters most. So just using the end. And that's how the Adam Sense mold will increase really the adoption, also for another part of the population, composed mainly by women and by teenagers, for sure. So the goal of this presentation is to prove that this claim, smaller, faster, even more durable, is not just a marketing claim. So we'll show you how we have worked on this to reach the best possible results. So Jerry, Christina, please feel free to stop me at any time and bring your contribution to this presentation. So let's start with the first feature, smaller. This is easy, okay, to prove. You can just compare the medium-sized end with the small one, and you can really see the difference. In particular, the medium end was 7 3/4 inches, while the small one is 7 1/4. Also, the weight is 570 grams versus 485, so it's 15% less than the medium end. And the main dimensions, so the length and the width of the palm are also 10-15% smaller than the medium model. So this makes it really suitable for a lot of users. Going to the speed. So on the left side, you can see the medium end. On the right side, you can see the small one. The small one is now 10% faster. And actually, with the latest improvements, we'll also roll this out to the medium one. As then regards the robustness, the small end is even more durable. And I will explain you why. So with 1 year on the market, we learned a lot from users, from clinicians. So we try to implement the best in the new small end. One of the things we did is to update the transmission design of the fingers. So basically, we further reduce the backlash on the finger, but also improve the spring durability, which is useful to exert an even higher force with the end. Another change we made is to replace bearings with steel bushings. So these increased a lot the robustness of the phalanges because you had more material to make it much stronger. Another change we made was to anodize the main finger components and actually a lot of the components into the end. So this brings to further enhance resistance and durability for the end. Another thing we did is to slightly change and redesign the thumb rotation and lock mechanism. So you know that the Adam Sand has 3 main positions for the thumb. You have the opposition one, you have the 45 degrees intermediate position, and the lateral one. So what we did is we slightly changed how the mechanism works. So on the mechanical side, to enhance the static load support. Another change we made was to change the position of the replacement screw for the thumb. So right now on the medium size, it's on the side of the thumb. So you cannot access the screw in all the positions. With this change, the screw is always accessible, so it's even easier to replace the thumb than before. This also allowed us to make the components more robust.
Giovanni. I'm so impressed with all the changes that you make. You all are very continually updating and continually upgrading your design. That's really impressive.
Thanks, Jerry. Yes, we are trying to do so both on the mechanical side, but also on the software side. So we really think that it's really important to iterate as fast as possible, you know, when you get clinicians and users feedback. And we invest the majority of our resources, especially in doing so, because we think that when the product is really good and the service is really good too, I mean, clinicians and users can trust you more, you know, in every situation. So the result of these changes is quite good. We doubled the max thumb transversal load, which is something that sometimes can, you know, bring to some issues with the end. And we further increased the end carry load. So now it's basically one of the highest in the category. From the 40 kilos, 88 pounds of the medium end, we are now at 45 kilos or 100 pounds for the small end. So it's an increase of 12.5% in the end carry load. Maybe it's even too much for what, you know, standard socket can withstand, but for sure it can be useful in some situations.
This is so impressive because many multi-articular hands were considered like toys in a sense. They just weren't that durable. And the way you're adding even greater forces to be able to lift at 100 pounds, to resist 26 pounds of force, and then to be able to push up 265 pounds really speaks to the design and how durable it is.
Yeah.
Actually, we know that, if I can add, durability is a key point for users, clinicians as well, but users that really want to use the device in their everyday life. I have a question for Jerry that has this direct contact with clinicians and users as well. What is usually the part that most subject to breakage for multi-articulating hands generally?
Yeah, that's an easy question to answer. It's always the thumb. The thumb, in a sense, is a movable vice. And so the thumb moves from lateral positioning to palmar positioning. Now, the Adams hand has an intermediate position, which is really nice, so that the thumb sweeps in. So normally it's the thumb that gives us the most amount of trouble. Then it's maybe the index finger and middle finger. But normally I can tell you it's the thumb. So when we increase durability of the thumb, we increase the overall durability of the hand.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, before launching the medium size hand on the market, we had several issues, especially with the thumb, because the thumb shaft was too thin to withstand the loads that are, I mean, usually found in everyday life. So this happened above all with Philip, our German ambassador, who broke the thumb shaft a couple of times in 1 month. So what we did is to increase the size of the diameter. We changed the material of the shaft, and this way we increased the robustness by 6 times. So since then, Philip didn't broke the thumb no more. So I mean, that's also related to the continuous improvement you were speaking about before, Jerry. You know, it's really fundamental. And then we have quite a big part of the team is made up engineers. So the R&D team is quite big. It's 15 people. So, you know, engineers are generally really mad with numbers. So
yeah.
we have the precise load that breaks the end in each single part of the end itself. So, I mean, we are quite crazy on this stuff.
Patients teach us so much about what the physical limits are, and then we learn how good our design is. The thing is, do we learn from that and do we improve? And I can tell you that Bionic Labs responds quickly. Yeah,
we are doing our best for sure. Yes, then another couple of data: 75 kilos or 160 pounds of static force on the chassis, and then the one that Jerry was citing before. So the push down low for knuckles, it's 120 kilos or 260 pounds.
So impressive, yeah.
Quite high. It's quite safe, you know, also when doing push-ups, as you've seen in the video. before with Viviana, but for sure give us a lot of trust when speaking with users and with clinicians. Another thing we worked a lot on is the improvement of the glove of the Adams Hand, because we perfectly know that this used to be quite a hard part with other devices. So the Adams skin makes the Adams Hand waterproof, totally waterproof, IP67. So it's really relevant that it is as robust as possible. So what we did in this case was to increase the amount of textile fibers inside the glove in order to reinforce the parts that were more subjected to wear and tear before. As you can see here in particular, you can see that we reinforce the internal side of the fingers, but also the thumb. And this also, again, really makes the difference. So it's smaller, faster, even more durable, but it will have the same price of the previous version of the Adams Hand. So our goal, again, is to make the device accessible as much as we can. So this is also a testament to the fact that continuous improvement for us, it's something basic, that everyone should bring always. So the idea to leave the new small hand at the same price goes exactly in this direction. Of course, together with these improvements we already did on the small hand, we'll roll them out also in the medium size during the following month. So we'll have also the medium size with exactly the same robustness and features of the Adams Hand. And the small one also has all the additional features of the small size hand. So basically, I'm speaking about the water and dust-proof design across the wrist. So IP67, thanks to the Adams skin, which is a medical-grade silicone glove, and also features highly customizable appearance. In particular, we have 3 glove models. We have the basic one, which features just one color. It can be jet black, clear white, or 8 different skin tones. And we have also the advanced and the individual ones, which respectively present 3 or 5 colors among 24 different skin tones, or 4 shades each. So you really can customize your glove. And what we discovered during these months is that this is really relevant for a lot of users, not only in Europe, but also in US, actually. And it's something that, it's not always available with all the devices on the market. So it can be really nice for some users.
And for those in the US, these gloves are approved for $68.95, which is PDAC approved. So you can get the necessary funding for the replacement glove for those in the US.
Yeah, exactly. And we are also covered by 6880, of course, in the US. So the end is reimbursed by Medicare, for sure. Thanks, Jerry, for this addition. Starting from today, we also have a new female individual glove, which is available. And you can also paint the nails, which is relevant for a lot of users. So we received these requests from a lot of users. So we worked also in this direction because, cosmetics is really, really relevant for a lot of them. Together with these new gloves, we also have 3 new additions: Scorpion, Patriot, and Hunter. These are custom gloves. The central one is made specifically for our US friends, right, Jerry?
Yes.
And this will be available both on the small end and on the medium one, of course. Another really relevant feature of the Adams Hand medium model that we bring also to the small one is the field serviceability. I don't know if, Jerry, you want to say something about it.
Yeah, there's so many wonderful things that Adams Hand brings you, and this is just one of them. It's so easy to field service the finger. How great is this? You just have one, once you disconnect the hand and then you pull the glove off, you can actually disconnect the finger and then replace the finger in the field. So you don't have to send it to Chattanooga, even though you're welcome to send it to me. You don't have to send it to Italy. It doesn't have to go all the way back to Italy. You yourself can actually repair the finger. It's instantly timed, so you can see how easily that silicone glove is removed. And then you see at the base of each finger is a small Torx screw, and you just remove it and replace it. That's how fast it's done. So many times I wish I could have fixed hands in the field, and then I wouldn't have to waste time. So it's really a great option for you.
Yeah. So in this case, you can see that you have to close the finger before replacing them, because they are spring loaded in closing direction. Mm-hmm. So, but after that, I mean, it's really, really easy to do so. And here in this video, you can also see really how Jerry was saying that it's really easy to remove. So to do on and to do off the glove, because, you know, it's really, really robust. So you can really stretch it to make it easier. And here you can see how easy it is to replace a finger.
So the thing is, other designs allowed easy finger replacement, and were they that durable? I don't know. But the thing is that you're able to replace the finger quite easily. So it gives you the feeling that it's quite durable.
Yeah. And as I was telling you before, you can also replace the thumb for sure. Before you had the screw in the lateral position here, so you cannot access it if the thumb was, for example, in lateral position. But now with the small end, the screw is placed on the base of the thumb. So it's much, much easier to do so.
I do like how the video shows a drop of Loctite is all that's needed.
Yeah.
Sometimes prosthetists, they'll make it like a hot dog. They'll put the Loctite all along. Yeah, that's not necessary.
No, just a drop, please. Otherwise, it would be impossible to remove it. Yes. Okay, once done, you open the end back and you put it in this glove mode. So it's the easiest way to put back the glove. So
yeah, this is a great feature. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put the thumb in 45 degrees, intermediate position. There you can see the screw also for the thumb,
right,
in the current medium model. And then you can just, you know, put back the glove.
It's so easy to use to put the glove on. You don't have to use any special fixture. You don't have to mount it on a vise. You can see the assembly person is just putting it on. They put the fingers in each finger and they just pull it on. The silicone, because it's a nylon body, it just slips right across the hand, and so it makes it so easy to do.
Yes, and of course, I mean, you can see that whole duration of the video is below 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you can have your hand ready to go back on with your users. Really easy to do.
How many times are you taking the glove off on a Friday afternoon and you wish it could just be easier? And so here it is. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Okay, so of course, together with this feature, the small end will be also compatible with MyLogic and MyLogic Pro, our clinicians and user app. So all the main features will be available. In this case, you're seeing a screen of the MyLogic Pro. Please, for whoever already purchased the end, remember that we released an update a couple of weeks ago that makes available also a new feature I will speak to you about briefly in the coming slides. This is the MyLogic version for end users. And again, here you have a whole set of settings, but again, we try to make it as easy to use as possible. So actually, once you do the calibration, it's basically done. So one feature which is available also for the new small end is the remote device connection. In this case, patients and CPOs, clinicians, can connect, so you can give remote assistance. I don't know, Jerry, if you already have experience.
Yeah, I've used that about 4 times already. It's such a nice feature. So you just have them connect with their MyLogic app. You look on your app on the iPad. You give them the token code. They can connect to their hand, and you can make adjustments to their hand wherever they are in the world. And so actually I did it just this morning. I connected to a hand in California, and I had to actually have the prosthetics reset to the factory reset because some of the functions aren't on the phone, and I was able to make adjustments to his hand and even give him some added features that he was missing. But this is also powerful with patients. They could be wherever they are. They could be in the middle of Nebraska, 2 hours away. You could make adjustments. You could even go through calibration, and you could help them. So this is such a great, powerful option.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's say that these two features, the full serviceable and also the remote connection, are related with time, that it's mostly the important aspect we can say that clinicians and users are focused on. So just I wanted to ask Jerry another example maybe about the use of remote control, just to have your experience.
Well, another experience was the patient was using one site control, and I was able to look at the EMG, and I thought to myself, if they went through calibration, they could do two site control because they had one small signal, but it was consistent. So they went through calibration, and then they went to two site control. So this was an elbow disarticulation patient. So they benefited in two ways. One was just the connection, but then because I was able to see the EMG, we were able to use the calibration, and then the calibration actually took over from that point. And so we were actually able to use two site control for open and close rather than single site control, which they were using. So it was a really great experience. Very impressive.
Nice. Really nice. Thanks. And then another feature we just implemented with the latest update is the data log analysis. So basically you can get a clear view of what the user and how the user is using the device in terms of course, usage time, but also if he's using the end with proportional control on or off, which kind of grips the user is using more. And this way, also the clinician can give some advice. For example, what we have noticed, which was really interesting, is that a lot of users tends to spend a lot of time with the thumb in the intermediate position, because maybe it's also, more human-like in a way. But at the same time, when doing some grips, they prefer maybe to have the lateral one or the tripod one. So this can also give you, a lot of insights into how to design the next version of the devices. And this is what we did with the small end, for sure.
Yep. Most patients love to have the lateral position for their sight lines, but now we can actually measure that. You can take an image and actually put it in their file or chart so you can measure dosage. So you can tell the payer, hey, look, they're really using their hand.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Especially in Europe, in some countries, they want to have a lot of data to show insurances and that the patient is really using that. Yes, exactly. So that's really nice. Of course, here we have a double Jerry, so one in count, one in the photo. This is nothing if not providing a good support. So the product may be the best in the world, but if we don't have the right people that answer all your questions, this is useless. So we fully understand that clinicians' time is really precious. And that's why our technical support team will provide you with the best service we can. This is valid both, of course, in Europe and the US. And this year we'll grow a lot our team in both countries, so for both headquarters. So this is something we really want to further improve on because we understood that it's really fundamental for this market. You're speaking about a hand, so it's really, really relevant for patients and for clinicians. So how we ensure that you have the best possible service? For sure, we have free of charge training and certification on our whole product range. So you can reach out to us in Europe to sales@bioniclabs.com or to Jerry directly, or to the whole team to set up a training. We will be more than happy to join you and to show you how the end really works. We have free of charge trial devices. So when you require a hand, it will be free of charge and you will be able to use it for a variable time, of course, depending on the country and depending on your needs. And of course, we have a full set of quick start guide, manuals, configuration, fitting protocols that are really useful. Even if you are having the first fitting experience with the Adam Sand, you can simply follow quite detailed list of actions that you may follow to better fit the device. Of course, even after you get the Adam Sand, we apply free of charge hardware updates. We have the annual checkup with the provision of the loaner device. And as we were telling before, we have regular updates on our latest hardware and software announcements. So maybe even too many sometimes,
yeah.
But we are really trying to do our best to support clinicians and users.
I've been so impressed with how the level of detail that the manuals have, but also when you use your app, each step of the app has the manual that's appropriate. So when you use the app, you click on it, it'll actually pop up the manual for you to help you. So it's so interactive, and usually it's all right there for you. So really, Bionic Labs is your upper limb laboratory for upper limb. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, the easy fitting via AI calibration, the field serviceable components, we already spoke about it, and the remote firmware update and the remote connection. I mean, everything is designed in order to make your experience with the Adam Sand as seamless as possible. So, just a quick recap: intuitive dexterity, unparalleled durability, and best-in-class customer support. These are our goals, and these are what we work towards every day. And before closing, I would like to let you see testimonials from Viviana, who's this great woman that has helped us in testing the Adam Sand Small and in improving it also.
I'm Viviana Lucarini. I'm Italian, but I live between Spain and Italy. My profession is strategic solution mentor, and I'm a public speaker. I always love to travel. I still do. It's a bit more complicated, but that doesn't stop me. I do many sports. I have a few hobbies, but the thing that makes me the happiest is dancing, yoga, and interesting conversations. I have lost 4 limbs, so I obviously have a very challenging new reality. Between legs and arms, definitely the most challenging part is not having arms. To recreate the movement of hands, arm, wrist, it's very challenging. I have tried many hands, and until now I wasn't very satisfied with the choices that are available. One of my biggest challenge is the weight. The other one is to feel that I have a secure hold on an object. I'm really looking for something that I can use more than just a few hours a day, but I can be with me following my daily routine. My trusted prosthetics center suggests me, since I was very unsatisfied with all the other products I've tried, so they offer me to try these new hands. That's why we organized the trial for the Adam Sand, and I'm glad it happened, because the difficulty with the hands is to be able to have a device that you can do more than one thing, and you can actually use it as a substitution for what you have lost. And yeah, I was really happy already in the first meeting. The first time I succeeded to do something I couldn't do with any other device, and was to lift a glass of water and drink it, and not using a straw or not feeling unsafe in my hold. And that was really like, yeah, it gave me a lot of hope for using it in my daily life. My aim is to be as much as independent than my condition allowed me to be, I think then the limits are in the head, and so whatever my body will allow me to go, I will do it. So more than a disability, I see the challenge of overcome a difficult reality, but with the aim of not letting it stop to live my life at the fullest.
So really a beautiful video and a beautiful story. And I think that in the future, we'll have more time to speak with Viviana too. So the idea is to involve some users in additional webinars where they will be able to tell us what they really think about it, what they find useful, and what they would improve. Because, you know, we really like to be totally transparent. We don't have anything to hide. So an open talk on these topics, I think, is the best thing for any manufacturer, actually, and for the whole industry. So thank you very much for your attention. We are happy to announce that starting from today, the Adam Sense Mall is available for trials. So due to the high demand we're already having, we really encourage you to reserve your spot early by scanning this QR code and filling in the demo device request form, or by reaching out to us at sales@bioniclabs.com. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni, and thank you, Jerry. I'm so really excited. It's actually always emotional to see the stories of people. That's always the reason why we work for. So it's always motivated to see how people can change the way to live thanks to our technology and thanks to our device. So, as I said at the beginning, now it's time for Q&A. We have some questions. So, Giovanni and Jerry, you choose who between the two want to start with the question. The first one is, does the size reduction affect the ends opening range?
Okay, so in this case, from the medium end, we had 110 millimeters of opening wide between the thumb and the index finger, which is quite high, as you can see. With the small end, of course, it's a bit reduced, but it will be it's 97 millimeters, so around 100 again. As you've seen in the video before, also this doesn't cause as many issues when holding a big glass of beer, or I mean, it's really wide in any case, and it doesn't limit. I mean, until now we didn't receive any particular feedback on that, so it should be quite good for with the current size.
We have another question about the always the small hand. So, can you comment on any limitation in the cylindrical grip? So, what is the maximum circumference of an object, and it can grab and the larger from the small and the larger hand?
Yeah, so basically it's linked to the previous question. So with the largest hand, of course, you had 110 millimeters of space between the thumb and the index finger. So an object of 105, 107, 110 millimeter of diameter could be easily gripped. Considering that having this adaptive grip, this further enhances the how the hand grips the object, because you have a sort of automatic force distribution among the fingers. So each finger at any contact point with the object does exactly the amount of force which is needed to bring the end object to equilibrium, to static equilibrium. So that's the main concept around the Adam Sense, and this can be really seen in several videos where our patients, our users, you know, they hold on to something, to a bar, for example, and they move, and the end will adapt to it. So this also helps in reducing the compensation movements on the shoulder, on the elbow, which is, I mean, again, something clinically relevant.
Yeah, and cylindrical grasp, sometimes we depict it as a straight cylinder, but it's hardly ever a straight cylinder. If it's a hammer or something, it's got to adapt to that shape. Also, the angle that the hand is in. So I think that's something the Adam's hand does quite well.
Yeah.
Good. Next question is about AI calibration. So is this similar to partner recognition, or it is just an enhancement for calibration single or dual site control?
Yeah, so actually it's pattern recognition and it's based on 6 different parameters. So of course it's not standard threshold control method. We carefully analyze the data of the electrodes on 4 or 5 different variables, and we combine all of them to define which grip, or better, which area to use. So close, open, or rest area. So yes, it's a pattern recognition algorithm.
So I will go to the other one. I'm excited to see these new improvements from Bionic Labs. What is your typical experience with calibration frequency for the end users?
So maybe I can start, Jerry, and then you can give also your feedback. For what we have seen, users do the calibration just the first time, basically. And of course, each time they do the checkup, so maybe clinicians have to change something, or to increase or decrease a bit the gain of the electrodes. But once you do the calibration, you hardly try to do it again, because it's really, I mean, it's working in not only that specific situation which you are calibrating, but also for a wider range of activities. We have carefully implemented the pattern recognition algorithm in a way that it does avoid false positive or false negative. So it's really robust in that sense. The success rate is close to 100%, basically.
Yeah, clinically, when I use it, I introduce the patient to it, and then I almost say I don't save it, and I do it again because they need to learn what kind of motion that they need to do. It's just interesting too, is that single site has calibration, so you can use dual site or single site, and really, it makes sense when you look at the overall signal and the shape of the curve, as well as the wavelength and crossing points. It makes sense that single site could be used with calibration, which is great. One of my patients, though, he likes to fool calibration, Giovanni. So he said he uses calibration if he uses a very light opening and closing. He makes the calibration very fast. Then when he calibrates, he said he really vigorously moves his muscles. He makes it more precise. And I said, well, that's not quite the way you're supposed to use it, but that does make
smart. It's smart.
It does make sense in a way, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So another question with regard to the remote device connection. So is there a way to capture the time the clinician took and what adjustments were made to the hand? In the comments, they say that it would be useful for the payer as demonstration of the kind of remote connection.
That's really an interesting question. At the moment, we can monitor the time spent during the connection. And we have some state settings on which kind of variations or changes have been made, but it's not yet in a form that can be, made easily available to clinicians. But this is really a great, suggestion, I think.
Yeah.
Jerry, what do you think about it?
I think it is a good suggestion. I didn't record when I connected today, but it would be good to record the time and the length of time and then what things I did. I would have had to take a screenshot of all those things, maybe.
Nice. Maybe this is something that we can implement in the coming months, so that we can actually prove that we get some feedback and we try to turn them into, useful features. Our R&D team will be happy about it. Sure. Okay, thanks. Any
So
other question?
another last question before say goodbye. Apple devices have a feature that uses vibration to expel water from internal components. Does the small end version of Adam Sand have similar mechanism to remove water if it enters unintended areas, or are there alternative solutions for such scenarios?
So actually, the Adam Sand doesn't have this feature because the goal is to not let water enter the device because it may damage, of course, the component. But in any case, we have a vibration. In particular, we have a vibration motor that can provide haptic feedback to the user. And actually, this question also gives me the opportunity to briefly speak about something new that we are now starting to work on. In particular, last week, we have kicked off a project with TfL in Switzerland to provide users with thermal feedback. So what we are developing right now is a new device that will be able to provide users with hot and cold sensation. And this will be something totally new that will increase a lot the proprioception for users, which is usually quite low with these devices, of course, since you don't have any feedback generally. But yes, I mean, of course, Apple is a great inspiration for any technology maker, I think. But no, we don't have this feature for water expulsion, let's say.
Okay, just the last one that we have received now. What specific challenges did you face during the designing of the small hand?
So for sure, to shrink all the components, making it even more robust than the medium one was not so easy. So we had to replace a lot of materials for different materials compared to the medium end. But we managed to maintain almost the main size of the driving components. So we have 3.3 millimeters wide gears into the medium end, and we have exactly the same gears into the small one. That's why also, even being smaller, it's really, really robust. So I think that shrinking everything is always the most complex things to do for manufacturing. I think, Jerry, you have the same experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people think miniaturization just happens, and it's not that easy. You have to look at material differences and tolerances. Yeah. And
exactly.
it's a lot in each hand. Each hand has a rotary transmission, a linear transmission, and then an independent transmission for the thumb. So there's a lot packed into this small hand.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, tolerances are really, really important. It's like having, a Swiss watch, because we have more than 300 components into the end, and with a weight of only 485 grams. So, I mean, you can imagine how small some components can be.
Okay, so if Giovanni and Jerry, if you have something else to add, otherwise I would thank all of the people that join us today, this webinar. Thanks for the presentation, Giovanni and Jerry, and also thanks for the questions that actually suggested new ideas too. We hope that you now have a deeper understanding of the capabilities and the innovations of the Adam Sand molds. And what we really wanted to show is that the Adam Sand is not just a product, but it's more a tool that will enhance the lives of individuals, helping them regain, first of all, independence and also confidence. So we are happy to have involved you in our journey. The last information is that Giovanni and Jerry, together with the Bionic Labs US team, will be in Nashville for the Hanger Live Fair next week. So if you, for the US audience, if you want to join them and to experience the Adams Mall, you can visit there at the fair. So
as well as
thank
the
you
Academy
again.
meeting too. We'll be at the Academy meeting too. So if
Yeah,
you're not,
yes,
you have multiple opportunities. Well, thank you for all that you do. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Giovanni, again. Thank you, Jerry. See you in the next webinars. Hope so. And don't forget to follow us on our social media. And thank you again, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.